Raven by Edgar Allen Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of some one gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember it was the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eager I wished the more. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden who the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So now, to the still beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entracing entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entracing entrance at my chamber door. This is and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and you so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce and sir I've heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there and nothing more." Deep into the darkness peering long, I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore, merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber, turning all my soul within me, burning. Soon after I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely this is something at my window lengths. Let me see, then, what thereat is, and this mysterious explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mysterious explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with a mirror of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched above the bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, beguiling of my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decam of the countenance it wore, "Through thy crest be shorn and shaven thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore? Tell me what the lordly name is on night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though it has answered little meaning, little reverence bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird upon his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the pallid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in the one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by a reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is its only shock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whose unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that the melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven, still believing all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of the bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy upon fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fellow whose fierce eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more, and I sat divining, with my head at easy reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining, that the lamp light gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet, lining with the lamp light gloating, she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseemly sense, swung by the seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the turf and floor. Wrench, I cried, thy God hath left thee, by these angels he hath sent thee. Respite, Nephin, from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this kindness, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whenever tempest sent, or whenever tempest tossed thee her ashore, desolate yet all daunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me, truly I implore, is the balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, is bird or devil, by the heaven that bends upon us, by the gods we both adore, tell me this soul with sword and laden, within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a Satan maiden, whose the angels named Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whose name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting, get there back into the tempest and nice platoon shore. Leave no blank bloom as the token of thy soul has spoken. Leave no loneliness unbroken. Quit thy bust upon my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flittering, still is sitting on the pallid bluffs of palace, just above my chamber door. In his eye hath all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er her streaming throws his shadows on the floor. And my soul from that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted, never